Good morning, all of you. Today, let us discuss different ways of communication because language is primarily communication. So, without communication, the purpose of language is defeated. So, we have to communicate using language in different ways. The four types of communication are verbal communication, non verbal communication, visual communication, and written communication. First of all, let us discuss verbal or oral communication. Language is primarily spoken and its written form is secondary. All of us, both educated, uneducated, literate, and illiterate, have to communicate. All of us communicate mostly orally. That's why oral communication is given paramount importance in language. So, all of us must communicate orally well, whether it is our mother tongue or whether it is other tongue like English. And if you are a great scholar or a grammarian or a great writer, if you can't speak well, if you cannot communicate orally, you can't make a good impact on the society. So, all of us need to improve our oral communication skills. That's why we are talking about the importance of oral communication with or without grammar. Of course, not without grammar, without knowing grammar. So that is the one thing. The second thing is non-verbal communication. Sometimes non-verbal communication is used when we don't want to speak or we can't speak. Suppose there is an important meeting is going on, so when somebody is speaking and somebody can just simply say using his gestures, he asked the guest to come in. That is non-verbal communication. In the same time, some people are dumb and deaf, they can't speak, they use gestures so that they can express their ideas, their needs, and their anger, and their some other emotions. So they use non-verbal communication. Of course, we have to use non-verbal communication in certain contexts, as I have explained earlier. The third one is visual communication. We use visual communication sometimes when it is not possible to communicate through written form or spoken form or non-verbal form. So then this is called visual communication. Generally, visual communication is through pictures, drawings, and also electronic media, the cinema, and also the drama. And these are called visual communicative modes. So this is the third form of communication. The last one is, and the most important one is the written communication. Written communication is the most difficult and the most useful communication because the spoken communication's effects is immense, but it is temporary. We may not influence a person for life if you speak to him for certain minutes, some minutes, but through written communication you can influence, and our communication lives for posterity. So that's why great orators, great writers, and great poets lived are living even today because of their writings. That is what the greatness of Shakespeare, Keats, Bacon, and other Aristotle, Plato. They became great because of their writings. We can't listen to their speeches, but we are reading their books. We are reading their messages, or we are being influenced by them even today. So that is the greatness of written communication. So, as the modern citizens of the world, we need to combine all of this. We should be experts in using all types of communication. It's not enough if you speak orally all the time, and sometimes it's not possible. And so, at the sometimes it may be possible to use only non-verbal communication. In that context, you have to use the non-verbal communication, and the third one is the visual communication. Yes, these days the cartoonists, and also drawing artists, and also the cinema directors, and also using and electronic media also being used extensively to communicate what they want to communicate. So they want to communicate the message on a much wider scale to the world. Of course, these days even speeches also can be sent to the world, to the entire world. But the visual media can play my better impact, because only speech is somewhat monotonous, but visual media can make use of the electronics and the electronic gadgets, and also other techniques, and graphics, and so they can take use of all these things, and they can send the message effectively. That's the beauty of visual communication. But all of us must not forget that spoken communication is the most useful, and the written communication is the most effective, and is the most important communication as far as its durability is concerned. So all of us must concentration on both spoken communication and written communication, but not leaving the nonverbal communication and also the visual communication. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you.